Mulligan. He's chairman of ServiceMaster. He's on the board of Hertz. All three of these are Clayton Dubilier portfolio companies where he is a managing partner. How can he possibly justify spending a lot of time on Target when he's got two chairmanships and a major personal direct and indirect investment in each of those companies? He's been on this board for 10 years. He's only bought 10,000 shares, and this is a wealthy man. So I think here, if you had to choose, you can get a private equity investor in the form of George Tamke, or you can get a public equity investor that has a very large percentage of his fund's capital invested, indirectly a very large personal investment in the company. I'm on no other boards. I may at some point, or I may not, join the board of General Growth, but I have no intention of joining any other boards, and these will take up my full time. Pershing has a track record investing in consumer and retail franchises. We create a lot of value for shareholders in Sears Roebuck and Company, in Wendy's, and McDonald's, in Long's Drugs, and other businesses that are related. I think I can be helpful here. But if again, I've taken the brunt of the personal attack, which I think is a good thing. Interestingly, Target has not attacked or even mentioned the name of any of our nominees in any of their fight letters, in any of their communications. And I think the reason for that is they're trying to make this about Bill Ackman. But again, you don't have to vote for Bill Ackman. You can withhold your vote for Bill Ackman, but don't withhold your vote for the other nominees for shareholder choice. If you want someone on the board who owns a lot of stock, who's got a track record for creating value for shareholders, vote for me. If you don't. Okay, but don't let that corrupt the contest. Make it about who are the best people to serve on the board. These are examples of companies where we've added meaningful value as a shareholder. Let's talk about corporate governance. Among my biggest concerns with the board is insularity, the nominating process, and otherwise. Ron Gilson, perhaps you can introduce yourself and explain why you're here.
Good morning. Good morning. It's the town hall meeting is the right term. It reminds me I was not sympathetic enough to the candidates last fall who had to stand up and explain why you should vote for them. I've worked on corporate governance for the last 30 years. There are a handful of senior people in this country who have done that. I'm one of them. I've done it as an academic. I've done it inside boardrooms. I've been a director at a major mutual fund for the last 10 years and independent chair of the board for the last 4. If you want an experience in managing in difficult times, last fall running $6 or $7 billion of money market funds while the capital markets froze and the reserve fund broke the buck is an interesting experience. The important thing to recognize about corporate governance, particularly in this context, is this is not an exercise in civics. It's not how do we elect the city council. It's about creating value. It's about having a group of independent directors who, when circumstances change, when the board and management has to consider how to respond to new circumstances, there are people with independence, with expertise, and with fresh judgment. What we've seen thus far is, in each case when an issue of governance has come up in this election, in making it easy for shareholders to vote, with respect to the board and
actually, if the volume can be turned up, please.
With respect to the board and equity investment, in each case, the board has focused in a fashion that keeps this kind of experience out of the board. So when you think about corporate governance and you evaluate the alternatives, keep in mind this is not civics. This is about putting together a board that has the capacity in difficult times to generate value for its shareholders.
Okay, great. A few more slides, then we're going to open it for Q&A.